Hey guys, well, welcome back. Got a fun one for you today. This is a story that one of my coworkers told to me about their situation, and I haven't told it to you yet or to anyone. So I thought I'd share it with you. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's great. I know that you warned me that it was going to be pretty sad. So,
Yeah, yeah, you know, like very little about it because I just slightly informed you of it, and then you said, "Hold on, let's say this on video," and here we are. So yeah, let's preface this by going. I work with someone, and he's relatively new, but he was working with me, and we spent a few days together. Not in what you're thinking, but work wise. And that sounded weird when it came out of my mouth, but anyways, a lot of things do. But anyways, we're going off topic here. Anyways, he was telling me about his situation, which now this is where it gets not so funny. His situation is that he recently bought a home about 2 years ago, and he lives about 45 minutes of the main city, which is Toronto in Canada. So about 45 minutes north. He bought a home in a very small town, uh, like 10,000 people, for example. It's closer to a bigger town, but it doesn't matter.
are we
Anyways,
are we
he
allowed
bought
to
this.
say are we allowed to say what town it is?
I'm
Do-
not going to say the town just because I don't want to give away the
Yeah.
specifics. I did mention to him I might tell the story. I mentioned I had a YouTube channel. It was really small, but he wasn't really interested in coming on. So yeah. Anyways, I won't mention it just out of privacy for him. But the gist of the story is he buys a house there for $1.1 million. Now I know a lot of people right off the bat. You're like, that's a lot of money. He bought a three-bedroom, three bath, just under 2,000 square foot home. Nothing amazing. It's a bungalow. It means it's only main floor and a basement. It's okay. Like I haven't seen it in person, but I saw pictures. It's okay. It's a decent home. Like anyone would probably be okay with living there. So he got a mortgage. His parents gave him the down payment, which was 20%. So I imagine around $220,000, which they gave it to him as kind of a loan, I guess, that he does have to pay back, as they I guess own part of the home until then. So yeah, he was working another job. And then he ended up calling our company. We did a job for him. And then he thought, maybe I should get into what these guys do. So he joined our company, and he doesn't make very much. He makes $20 an hour, and he works full time, 40 hours a week, and he works at as a I think a chef in a restaurant or something in the kitchen. I think it's a chef. He makes $25 an hour there. Works full time there as well. So
So he
he's
works
working
he works two
80.
jobs.
Yes, he works 80 hours a week. I'll give you the gist of his schedule. So he works Monday to Friday, about 7 to 3 is our kind of average working time. Sometimes 8 to 4, but for the most part, that's about our work schedule. And then um, three nights a week. I think it was Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. He works at the restaurant. Um, all of the shifts are later. I believe he starts his shifts around 4 o'clock, I believe. He works 40 hours at the restaurant. So yeah, and he works all nights, I guess, or afternoons, I guess. So he works in the afternoon, so he pretty much has no time to himself. He told me his only free time is pretty much the 2 days he doesn't work after work, and the mornings on Saturday and Sunday to early afternoons. So he doesn't have a lot of free time, and I guess between those two jobs, I think before taxes, he probably brings in around 90,000. His wife earns 60,000, so they're just over 150,000. And get this, this is the where the story really starts to come together. He loses on average a few $1,000s per month. So, and this
Wow.
guy is bare bones. He cut out all streaming services. he cut out pretty much everything. Um they have I believe one vehicle between them, and yeah, so they're pretty bare bones. They really don't do a lot. They said they don't eat out. He buys food and makes lunch every day at the restaurant. He eats for free. But yeah, he's got rid of everything. He is just like dying basically. He and he's thinking about getting a third job because of how much money they're losing. He had to take a loan from his parents of $50,000 because of how much money he's losing each month since buying his house.
Oh dear
It's
God.
it's gotten pretty ridiculous. And I told him like, have you thought about selling and maybe moving somewhere else? And he's like, well, I bought the home in a bit of a bidding war, so he's like, I don't think I would get anywhere near what I paid. He's like probably at least 100 or 200,000 less than what he paid.
Oh
So
God.
he might have overpaid a little bit for sure, but at the time, homes were going for more than they were supposed to. And when everything's going up, it doesn't seem like a bad decision until things go down, right? So, for a little bit there, he thought it was a great decision, and then interest rates changed, and his mortgage payments went up by a couple $1,000s, and
A couple
yeah, he's really
thousand?
underwater. A couple $1,000s, yeah. I think he said housing costs right now is like 8,500 a month, which is
Oh,
insane. Like,
oh,
yeah. So now he owes his parents, I think, close to 300,000, and yeah, he's not doing too well. He in the company we work for, if if you progress further, you can do a lot of um, overtime work and a lot of emergency work. And he wants to get to that stage. And he said that he'd be willing to be, it's like on call, considering you could work anytime, right? So you can be called out anytime. So right now our company rotates, but no one really likes doing it. So he said he would be willing to do it for 1 year straight, as in, this is like no days off. They can call you at any time of the day,
come
right?
on.
They call you at 2 in the morning, they call you at 6 o'clock. Doesn't really matter, right? You know, our work ends say at 3, 4, 5 o'clock, and then anytime between that and 7 a.m. the next day, you can be called, right? So yeah, it's pretty crazy that he wants to take it for 1 full year to try and make extra money. I mean, kudos to him. He doesn't give up easily, but that's unbelievably insane. Like,
So the house
I
was not listed for 1.1. He was in a bidding war, and he obviously paid more than the asking price of the house. Now he's stuck in this
mhm.
situation where he basically has to make the payments for the house. If he tries to sell, he loses $200,000. But if he's trying to make the payments for the house, he has to work more than 80 hours. Is that what you're saying?
That is his situation. Yes. Um, yeah. I should preface this also by saying that he is 30. His wife is slightly older. I think she's 3 years older than him, so she's around 33. And they do want to have children. He said he would like to have two to three, but in his words, losing my wife's income would bankrupt us within months.
Oh my
So
God.
yeah, I and he he pretty much has to, his choices right now are try and get out of this pickle, uh lose a lose quite a bit of money selling the home, plus be in debt to his parents, or just keep going, hope for the best, or file for bankruptcy or something and lose everything. Like, he was like, my options aren't great. So
That's really
yeah.
ridiculous. Like what the Canadian dream. This guy lives 45 minutes north. That's where he bought his
Mm-hmm.
house. So please, for those of you that
Mm-hmm.
are watching, please don't say, "Oh, buy it elsewhere." 45 minutes, he's pretty far. Okay, and that's on a
Yeah,
good day, right? 45
that's no
minutes.
traffic.
Yeah,
That's no traffic.
yeah,
Traffic. forget it. I can't tell you an estimate. It's about 60 kilometers away, I guess, about 45 miles or so,
So his
right?
commute is pretty insane for his two jobs that he's working. He's working 80 hours a week. Please, for those of you that are watching, please don't say just, oh, okay, just move elsewhere. This is
Hmm.
tough in the entire GTA, in the entire province of Ontario. That's what I believe. This is tough, you know?
Yeah,
And look, this guy's story is not unique. You know what I mean? It's sad, but it's not unique.
he said he has friends in similar situations.
Like, like
He also says that he was good with money and he never had money problems until he bought a house. Again, I don't want to scare people away from buying a home. This is his situation in particular, right? It's just I don't know if he doesn't sound like the only one. I mean, it's a pretty unique story that I heard. I haven't heard one that bad, um, maybe ever, to be honest. It's that one's pretty bad. That he has two jobs. His wife works, and they are losing thousands of dollars a month.
Like
Um,
it's one thing if you lost like $50, right? $100 a month. Fine. Thousands? Couple thousand? A couple
couple
thousand.
thousand, couple. He didn't even give me an exact number. He just said we're losing a couple thousand a month for sure. So, um, yeah. So I don't know what the exact number is. He said most bills are about 8,500 a month, and I mean he makes between his two jobs, I guess like $45 an hour on average. So he's probably clearing, I would assume, maybe around $5,000 a month. His wife, I would assume, is probably clearing slightly less, maybe 3,500, 4,000.
So
So
you're
we'll
saying
say even if they're at $10,000, which means she earns the same as him, like their house bills are 8,500. Like they haven't paid insurance, they haven't eaten, they haven't paid for internet, their phones, like
nothing.
gas,
Nothing.
nothing. This is bare bone stuff. Like it's crazy that $10,000 like will get you nowhere. I mean, granted, he has a $1.1 million house that you could argue he shouldn't have bought, but in his defense, he told me that when everything's going up, it seems like a good decision. And he's he's my age, so I understand the housing market hasn't been kind to people our age. So he's like, you got to jump at some point. He's like, maybe I picked the wrong time to jump,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
right?
definitely. And yeah, I know
He said
you
his goal is
don't
to own a home before 30, which he achieved. I don't know if that's considered a win, right? I mean, kudos to him. He has a home that he's paying off. So at some point, it will be probably worth more. But in the meantime, you have to endure a lot.
listen. Listen, I know you like don't want to discourage home ownership, but honestly, from this information, I don't think home ownership is a great idea. This guy has literally put himself in prison for the next 30 years.
More or less, he does have a 30-year mortgage, yes. And yeah, he was like, yeah, I just turned 30 and I don't think I'll take a vacation in my 30s. So there goes the some of the best years of your life, working 80 hours, 7 days a week. Like, I don't, that's not, in my opinion, it's not a way to live. His wife does mainly all of the chores. She does the grocery shopping, things like that, because he's like, I barely have time, you know? He's like, on the off days, I finish slightly earlier. He's like, I'm exhausted. This job is physical, right? So he's tired and he works, the restaurant. He's like, I'm on my feet all day. He's like, I'm young, but I feel old. And it's tough, man. It's tough. And the worst part is, after working 7 days a week, your wife working as hard as you can, bare bones everything, it's still not enough. And he's still losing thousands of dollars a month. His
He's
hope
never
is that interest rates go down and he makes more money.
he's never home.
No, he's never home. Plus, like he took 50,000 from his parents and he said it should last maybe 2 years, right? And he's already a year in, I should add to that. So he's got like another year of that. And then he's like, if I don't get some big raises, or get a third job, he's like, I'll have to ask for more money.
Oh my God.
And he's like, there's nothing we can do. He's like, my paychecks are nothing, you know. He's like, they go to the bill. He's like, it's just coming down. He's like, that 50,000 is just like being chipped away at,
Very
you know.
quickly, very quickly.
Yeah. He's like, you add to it, but it goes quicker than you can add. So yeah, he's hoping interest rates go down so he can at least get some relief that way. But I don't know, man. Things like that just like I didn't even know what to say to him, to be honest, because he was in such a bad situation that what do you say to someone like that? Like, man, that sucks. Good luck. I don't know, win the lottery, but
Win the
do you
lottery.
even have money to be putting towards that too? You know, like I don't know, man. Like make more money, but like you're maxing yourself out at like 80 hours a week, right? Plus that's not counting commute time and all that. So yeah, it's hard. It's hard. And he went to school too, I should add. He went to school for something totally different. But he didn't really he followed that career for a little bit, but he said that career didn't have a lot of like room to grow and make more money.
Do
And
you know if
he's
he
just
has a student loan?
I don't believe so. No, I because he said he has like no debts or anything other than his house and his parents.
Yeah.
So he said more or less his life was great. So he bought a home, and then he just started having to work so much to support it that it's sad, man. It's sad that like this is life for some people, right? Like, obviously we complain about our life here. It's not the most amazing. It's not the worst. Could be better, could be worse. I think that's what a lot of people could say, but his is a lot worse. And to work that hard and lose money, just something about that, man, that must hurt. That that hurt me. I, I was just hearing it.
You know, it's funny. Some people in our last video said work harder, you know?
Yeah.
And when I
Hmm.
hear your story, like the story you just outlined for us, and I think about those comments, it kind of upsets me, to be honest with you. Like saying, work harder. This guy is working 80 hours a week, considering a third job on the only time he has left for himself. And, some people are going to have the nerve to say, work harder. Nah, man. Sometimes the system is broken. Sometimes this country doesn't allow you to succeed and have that Canadian dream anymore. Maybe it's dead. Maybe it's dead. Maybe it's gone. Maybe that was a thing of the past, a relic. And maybe we don't have that anymore. That's a reality.
Yeah. I had responded to quite a few comments in our last video that my grandfather had come to this country in the early 70s as a factory worker. He was a farmer where he came from, but when he came here, he became a factory worker who did not speak English. He never learned English in the 30 years he was here. Over 30 years he was here, he never learned English. He supported himself, my grandmother, and four children,
Wow.
and bought a home downtown, much closer than even where I lived to downtown Toronto. Like, but very close, like a few kilometers away from the city core, like Yonge and Dundas, pretty much, like very close to there. Um, and he did all of that on one factory worker salary who didn't speak English.
Unbelievable.
And you got like me and my wife are in like 240, right? And we could never buy a house anywhere in that area. It would be unheard of. It would be unbelievable to even like we would like people would shame us for even thinking that.
That's
Freaking
crazy.
crazy how much life has changed in about 50 years. It
I've
has
I've seen a lot of
gone so downhill.
I've seen a lot of footage of Toronto, and I'm talking like downtown Toronto in the 80s. For those of you that have seen it on YouTube, just YouTube search Toronto 1980s, and people, I could be wrong, people just looked so much happier back then. And I think it's pretty obvious why, because I think the overall standard of living back then was a lot higher, a lot better than now. And I will debate anyone on that. And we hear these stories all the time, and this is real. You can't just work harder for this. You can't. This is like the reality of the situation. Sometimes even hard work won't get you where you want to go. And to me, that system is rigged.
Yeah, I should add one very important thing I forgot to say. Some people say this. He rents out his basement, by the way.
Oh.
That was very important that I forgot. He rents out his basement. Yeah, but the rent in that area is not very high. But he said it's better than nothing.
so
And it
so like so
so
he already hit, wait a minute. So he
yeah,
has his two incomes, he has his
yeah,
wife's income, and he has a
correct,
rental income.
correct. That's correct. Yeah, the basement's not very big. It's like one bedroom, so it's not huge. He rents it to one person, and I think they pay $1,000. I might be mistaken on that, but I think he said 1,000. So yeah, so yeah,
Can leave comments, guys, on this. Let us know what you think of this situation. And
he's gonna have to start stripping.
yeah, I mean, that's
It's the only way.
OnlyFans. He should probably do
OnlyFans, yeah.
OnlyFans. Yeah.
That's
Yep.
probably it, man. Honestly, work harder and like just start showing what you got. He's hairy. We talked about this as a joke, and he was like, you think people would be into like me as I'm probably someone's fetish. And I was like, you might have to. And he's like, honestly, he's like, I would never want to, but he's like, I've thought about it more recently. I was like, are you joking? He's like, I wish I was.
I wish I was.
I wish I was. So we jokingly had that chat. I don't think he's gonna start it, but funny to talk about it and go, I wish. And we talked about other things like Haktua.
Oh my gosh! Please don't get me
He
started on
he
that.
envy those. He's not happy with those people. I'll tell you that much.
If you could
But
make
yeah,
it, like, there's no male equivalent of Hawk 2, I don't think. No way.
no.
Um, guys, tell us your stories. We would like to know, honestly. Send us a message to our Instagram. I'll have the Instagram at hashtag, whatever you call it, handle on the screen so you can add us on Instagram, send us a DM, and we would love
Hmm.
to hear your stories if you have them. Always leave it in the comments if you don't want to add us on Instagram. That's fine. Thank you so much. And yeah, Canada sometimes sucks.